Hello, chosen black sheep. Welcome, thank you for being here. I'm so grateful you could join me. Today we will explore who we are, the secrets that were not meant to be kept, and the truth buried in the dust of the earth that can only become whole as it awakens within you. A clear view that sees beyond the veil of the material world, the Essenes and the Gnostics, but also my personal story of finding my heart, light and path. So, let's get started. It took many centuries for the truth of the Essenes and the Gnostics to be discovered. Thousands of years passed before the world was ready for their truths to be unveiled. But these two separate paths revealed at their core the same truth, both leading us to discover the divine spark of source within ourselves. The Essenes were not just people of faith, they were people of true devotion. They understood that truth could not be found in the world outside of them, but could only be found in the heart and through the inner whisperings of the divine. The way to the truth could not be found through any ritual or in a grand temple, but would only come through a life lived in harmony with the sacred pulse of existence. In the scrolls of the Dead Sea, the Essenes left us a divine map, a map that pointed not to the external world, but a map that guided us into the deepest parts of our heart, to the place in your heart where the divine spark of source resides. They knew that holiness was not a thing to be attained in the material world, but holiness could only be found within us through the purity of heart, true devotion, and through the silent communion with the divine spark of source inside the core of each one of us. The Gnostics also sought the divine within, not through outside religion, but through the sacred journey of finding the light within. They knew that Gnosis, or true knowledge, was not something that could be taught or given from outside of you, but could only be discovered through a direct experience or an awakening of the divine spark within you. They saw the material world as an obstacle, a prison to the divine sparks of source, temporarily lost, but always waiting to be remembered. Chosen black sheep, the Gnostics knew that the divine was not some distant deity to be worshipped from afar. They knew that the divine source was closer than breath, waiting to be recognized within us. You are the light of the world, they said, because they knew the light was not something to be sought outside of us, but something to become aware of and remembered from within us. The Essenes and Gnostics walked separate paths, but paths very similar, paths that coincide and converged at the same profound truth. The divine is within, that awakening was not external, but a return to the heart, a return to wholeness, a return to the divine spark of source within us. For the Essenes, the light of God was found through purity of heart, through discipline, and through a life lived in alignment. They could silence the distractions of the world so that they could hear the divine guidance leading them back to their true nature. The Gnostics knew that God would not be found outside or in the material world, but through the remembrance of the divine spark of source within us. They understood that when we connect to our inner light, we are aligned with all that is sacred beyond all time and all space. Chosen black sheep, before I had my initial awakening, I say initial, because once you awaken, you continue to be enlightened and reawakened. But before I was awakened, I felt so lost, I felt so alone, and I felt so unworthy of the divine light of source to be a part of me, or a part of anywhere in my life. I was taught that if I did not follow and obey truths that never resonated within me, that I would be unworthy to receive the blessings of the divine source in my life. I was told that if I didn't follow, that I wouldn't make it to the highest realms of heaven. I was raised to believe things that just never clicked or resonated within me. And I tried. I tried so hard to make them fit. I wanted to be loved so desperately, by the people that I loved desperately. But no matter how hard I tried to make it all fit, the profound truth would remain. It wasn't within me. It never rang true. And I could no longer live a lie and pretend it did, all because I wanted to be loved by those I loved. I wanted to be worthy in the eyes of those I loved, but I couldn't do it living a lie. And it set me on a very destructive path for many years, because I did not feel worthy of the light or the divine love of source. This was when I realized I had nothing left to lose, and no matter what, I was going to find the truth. I was going to find my truth, and I stepped upon my path of purpose. The path where the divine source was leading me back into myself. And even if I had to stand all alone, I would follow the truth that resonated within me. I would follow the truth within my heart. It was right around this time I found Neville Goddard, and his words and message resonated so deeply within me. I felt brand new. I felt my inner truth growing brighter within, and so I followed it, and it has led me right here, right now. It has brought me wholeness in this material world, and now I know I've always been worthy. I've always been loved beyond measure, and I've always been a child of the light, and I cannot be separated from the divine spark of source within me, and I'm here to tell you, neither can you. If this struck a chord within you, please like, share, and subscribe. Now seek these things inside yourself and remember, I love you until next time.